creating an energy field with my guest Amber. 하루 운두이 티아레 키우르 운두 도에타 카테렌디아 탄디에 텐데 내리리 원내리 inviting in our audience for those who are here to participate, to resonate and vibe in the space. Connecting to the ocean waters and to the whales. So I am so excited to be speaking to Amber today. She is out on the Oregon coast and it's early in the morning for her. So I'm really grateful to be able to speak to you this morning.
Yes, thank you.
And I just kind of want to start off by introducing off the bat what we're talking about today and maybe tell us a little bit about your story with your connection with the whales.
Okay. Um, so I'm Amber Lundeen, and I live on the Oregon coast. So I'll just kind of jump into it a little bit. So in 2021, I had, well, I'll just be real honest. I had a relapse with alcohol, and I ended up in the ICU. And I was in the ICU for 6 days. And when I got out, pretty much like my whole life had kind of, you know, burned up. And so I was really like in the dark night of the soul. Like I was kind of left on my own, and to really like navigate the being in the ICU and everything that had happened. And so I was really I'm like a very spiritual person, but at that time it was like my faith was pretty crushed. But I did still feel like I knew there was purpose to this time and that I was going to bring myself through it. And as I brought myself through it, I started having dreams almost right away when I got out of the ICU. I started having dreams about orcas. Um, and it's not something that this did not occur pre-ICU. Okay. So and it was like, I would wake up and I would be like, I had another dream about an orca, and it kept happening every night. Sometimes it would be two, three times a night. And I'm like, I don't know why this is happening. I don't know what to do with this. I wasn't even really in the space to like go deeper into it. Um, and it just kept happening and kept happening. And I was talking to my friends about it like every day because I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, well, they want to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't speak Orca. And they're like, yes, you do, or they wouldn't be in your dreams. And I'm like, okay, Well, so then it just kept happening. And one night I had a dream about an orca. Usually in my dreams, they're very like free, and it would be all different kinds of scenarios. Sometimes I'd be really close to them and they'd be really scary. Sometimes I would be like up on the shore and I'd just see them off in the distance. Sometimes I'd just be sitting on the beach. There's a million scenarios.
Mhm.
Um, but this one, swimming with a whale who was in a tank. And um, I remember in my dream, I was really happy to be there with her, but I was very upset that she was there.
Mm.
I'm gonna take a drink real quick. Sorry. Um,
Mhm.
and so I woke up and I immediately knew it was Kiska. I don't know how I knew, but I just knew it was her.
Mm.
And I had sort of like read her story before. I was like aware of her, but I didn't like know that much. And so I sort of, after the stream, I went online and kind of like read her story, and it was so sad. And she was like there, alone in this tank, and like it was, the park had already, like she was in a condemned tank,
Mm.
and I could feel how she was just like waiting. Like she was just waiting for kind of somebody to tell her it was okay to go.
Mm.
And so I did that. I was like, I connected with her. It was all very super emotional.
Mm.
And I just told her, it's okay. Like you can go home now. And a couple of weeks later, she passed. And I think when that happened, it really like opened me up to that everything I was experiencing was very real. Talking to them, communicating with them, and opening up to actually just having dialogue with them. Um, and I didn't really know, and it's still like I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I never know how that's going to come through. But it's it's always new and it's always exciting and it's always very like I know this isn't coming from me, Like
Mm.
it's like these profound, crazy things that I'm like paradigm shifting information that I'm like, that's crazy. Like that changes my perspective on everything kind of stuff.
Mm.
It's amazing. And so after that, I just really like connected with her, and then I kept dreaming about them. Kept trying to see them here,
Mhm.
but every time it was so funny because like one day they were in the bay
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Oh my God, I gotta go." So I'm there and I'm standing there um by the Aquina Bridge and waiting to see them kind of swim by. And I stood there for like 3 hours waiting. And then the time came, I had to leave to go pick up my daughter from school.
Mhm.
And so that would take like 20 minutes. Okay. So I leave for 20 minutes and come back and they're already gone. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm dreaming about you every night. Like, why don't you want to see me? Um, and they're like, because we're so deep in your psyche that you're not ready. If you would see us in
Mhm.
person right now, it would be too intense for you and it would like drive you mad, basically, is kind of the
Mhm.
feeling I got. And I was like, well, darn, what do I got to do to, to get to the place where I can actually see you guys? And so for the next like month, I'd say, I was really going through like transformation. I was that during that whole time I was doing a lot of like shadow work and stuff.
Mhm.
Um and
And this was
that
back in what, 2022 or
yes,
okay.
2022, 2023.
Mhm.
And then like about a month or yeah, it was like 6 weeks later, I had this meditation with Merlin. I was just in the bath and he was just like, "Hey, what's up? You're done." And I'm like, "What does that mean?" And he's like, "No, you completed this part of your, you know, lessons and stuff." And I was just like, I was so hesitant to believe it because I was in the cycle. It was the dark night of the soul. It
Mhm.
sucked. But when he said that, I was just like, okay, we'll see. Um, and he's like, "Oh, you'll know because you'll see the orcas. Like you'll know because you'll see the orcas, and then, because of what they told you, you'll believe it." And I was like, okay. And that day, I was driving, and I have like this, I call it the whale route,
Mhm.
and I drive down the coast, and I go to this place called Rocky Creek, and then I kind of drive back up the coast, and there's a pod of resident gray whales that always live here. And so it's not uncommon to see them very frequently. And at that time, they were very, very active. And so I would see whales every day. Um, but it wasn't orcas, it was gray whales, which are amazing, by the way. But it was the orcas that were like haunting my dreams. So that day I was just driving, like I had a routine kind of thing, and I was like, if I see orcas today, then I'll definitely know that Merlin was, telling me the truth. Um, so I did. I saw orcas that day. That was the first time I had seen them in person, and
How
it
long had it
was the
been since?
most.
Oh, I'm
What's
curious, how long had it been since you started dreaming until a point that you actually got to see the orcas in person?
I would say it was like a year and a half. About a year and a half, yeah.
So at
Um,
that point, like, were you dreaming about the orcas every night? Or,
yeah, pretty much every night, or like, 2 to 3 times a night. But yeah, I mean, like it would kind of like I would dream about them for like a week or 2 weeks, like every single night. And then they'd kind of go, and then they kind of come back. And it was like I kind of knew when they were coming back into my dreams that it was because I was like moving, like it's almost like I had completed a lesson sort of thing, like I had leveled up, even though I was still in this particular cycle. I don't know if that makes sense,
Mhm.
but it was like I had uncovered something, and they were coming back to like bring me the next set of codes to integrate kind of thing.
I have a few questions for you before
Yeah.
we continue. I'm just really curious about learning more of like what does that dream space look like? Are you in the ocean with them, or is it just them? Are they singing, how are you translating like what they're communicating? Like what does that dream space actually look like?
So, um, it's always very different. At first it was a lot of I was scared of them.
Mhm.
Um, so like they'd be out there, I'd be very hesitant. I had a friend who was in my dream one time, and she just dove into the water and was swimming with them, and I was very scared and I couldn't do it. And I think that like in the waking life I kind of felt like that, like she was kind of doing that, like she was diving into things, and she was kind of fearless in that. And so I didn't really swim with them at first. It was more just me seeing them on the shore in the distance. Um, just the one time in the tank. That was the only time. But mostly just they're out in the ocean, and I am watching them, or I'm running down to see them.
Yeah.
Um, and didn't really in that dream space, it wasn't like I was communicating with them in the dream space. It was just more like they were there.
Mhm.
And I was there. And it was more of a feeling, I guess. The
Mhm.
communication, it wasn't, it was definitely more of a feeling than like words.
Hmm.
you know? And I would wake up and I would have these feelings and I would just, I just started like journaling these incidences. At first I didn't because I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know I wasn't in the space for that. But now, I mean, it still happens.
Yeah.
So now it's different. Now it's more like I had a dream the other night where I was on the shore and I was laying like on my stomach and I had my arms like out in the water.
Hmm.
And one of the whales just swam up and I touched her and I could feel like her skin, like, and it's like this like rubbery kind of, but so soft feeling. It's crazy. I love when I get to touch them in my dream. I always wake up and I'm like, I got to touch an orca, you know?
Amazing. So is it like really vivid and lucid almost,
Yes.
or?
Yeah, it is. It's very vivid. Sometimes it's more lucid, sometimes not. Sometimes it's just like very dreamlike. But if it's lucid, then it's like I I intentionally try to get closer to them
Hmm.
and want to be like with them now. Like I want to be in the water. I want to be with them. I want to um talk to them. I want to cuddle with them.
Yeah, I get it.
Literally, I've had dreams of like cuddling, like just where I'm in like shallow water and I'm just like cuddling this orca. And I mean, it's so funny because in my dreams, they're all different sizes,
Mhm.
they're not like real life scale. Like sometimes they're really small. I'm just like,
Mhm.
you know, yeah.
Huh. That's so
Yeah.
interesting.
But the waking part is I like when I'm awake, um, that's kind of like when they will come in. And it's like they're so deep down in my subconscious and my psyche that it's like if I just tune into them, they're there. That doesn't always mean that I'm like receiving some information from them or even talking to them. It's more just like their presence.
Hmm.
And then if I like ask them a question or something like that, it will come to me. Not always instantaneously. Sometimes it takes like, I'll just be doing something, my mind will be busy, and then all of a sudden the information is just like boom, and I'm just like, whoa, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. And that's the thing with them too, is like it's always very like spontaneous. You know what I mean? Like on Monday when I saw them, um, saw him. It was just one orca on Monday I saw. It's like I didn't plan for that. There's no planning for seeing them. It's just like it's when they're here, you go.
And this is physically in person. Like,
Yes, on Monday,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, which is crazy because you asked me to be here with you, and then he came, and I was just like, you guys.
Did you get any messages on Monday?
I did. And it's kind of like a process. So I can tell you the process if you
Okay.
want.
Please, yeah.
Okay, so I saw them. There was so I have to back up a little bit. On Mother's Day. Um, on Mother's Day, there was three orcas that came into the bay here in Newport. And I was planning a thing with my family, but I'm like, I have to go. I have to go see them. So I went down with my daughter and we actually saw them that day. And I can't even tell you the physical intensity that me like being close to them, it was like as I was getting closer, it was almost like I had to keep myself from hyperventilating because it was like my whole body was. just so energized. It was like my Kundalini was really, really active, and I could feel like my heart space just like blasting open. Um, and so I
Amazing.
saw them, and then I came home and I kind of did the thing with my family. And then I'm like, this is going to be so much to process because I hadn't actually seen them in person
Mhm.
since since in 2023. So it had been a couple years.
Mhm.
And I had recently started dreaming about them a lot again. And so seeing them was crazy on Mother's Day, and it was a mother and her two children. It was just perfect. And so as I started to kind of process this experience, what she told me was that I needed to be really clear about what I'm manifesting, but it's more like the energy that I am holding, like my vibration, basically. Like I need to get really intentional about the vibration that I'm holding and the
Mm.
frequency that I'm sort of invoking. That's what it really is. And so they told me that I needed to make an incantation for myself that I could say whenever I felt the need, anytime. And so I spent like a whole day just really like feeling into what this would be, what were the things, and there was very like I am statements. And so I'll just share with you what was created. Um, I am deeply connected to the unified field. From my field of value, I create. I am whole. I am in service. I am magic. I am beauty. I am flow. I am free.
Mm.
And when I do this, it's that I am dropping down into the unified field. And for me, what that feels like is there is if you think of like fascia and how it's kind of like these strands of light, right?
Mhm.
In our bodies. When I drop into the unified field, everything becomes that. It's like every object is this light, these light strands.
Mhm.
And it's very like I feel like I become it. I become one with the unified field. And so when I drop into that and I say these I am statements, it's like I'm really invoking the energy of who I want to embody, sort of thing.
Mm.
The life I am, the experience that I want to have, and being in service is a big part of that. Um,
Mm. I would really like to create the space with you to drop into that.
yeah.
And if there's anyone in listening to this podcast, if you want to drop in, I think it's incredibly relevant right now. And I
Hmm.
think a lot of people out there are asking this question about purpose and being able to show up authentically and really follow that heart's calling. And I can just feel like with your connection with the whales and with the frequencies that they transmit, it's really an activation of the heart space.
Mm.
And that's really that connection to the unified field or to that kind of greater consciousness and that greater frequency connection. So I just want to invite everyone to rest in your heart space. And I've been visualizing and seeing the whales have been very present,
Mm.
like really, really close. Like there's a giant whale eye right in front of me, like a couple feet from my face, just like watching,
He's
looking
like
at me.
looking right at
Yeah,
you.
it's really
Yeah.
beautiful. It's just, oh man. So I just want to drop into that space. just want to ask the support of the whales to reveal and to share with us the frequency and the information that they would like to convey.
So they've been talking a lot about geometry lately. And I know um, I can feel your light language, your singing, your voice. I can feel it. I can see it actually in this field and how it is sort of it's like as you sing, your voice illuminates like the strands, like you fill them with light. And as you're filling them with light, there are geometric patterns that are coming through, like you're forming them with your beautiful vibration and frequency into this unified field. And I can just, it's so bright. Like you're, oh, I got goosebumps. Your voice is so potent in this space. Like they love it. They love your voice.
I love
And
them.
yeah.
I'm obsessed with whales. I can't help it.
It's
Just the
almost like your
sound
voice is like their voice. It's like
and
you
our
have um when you listen to the whales speak, they're under the sea, it's such a powerful vibe that they give off and how it like vibrates through the whole ocean.
mm,
But they really want me to tell you right now is that I'm gonna cry. Ugh. Is that they are the keepers of the heart song for Earth, for Gaia. They keep her heart song safe. And that
that makes me cry.
and that it's been very distorted
Yeah.
through frequencies and through manipulation. And um, when you turn on the radio, sometimes you hear those distortions through the frequencies that are being emitted in some of the songs. And they are holding the true frequency, the undistorted frequency. And your voice, your singing is tuned to that frequency. I'm sure you know that. And that you're bringing the heart song from them onto land with your voice, and that it is having such a huge impact on the field. And not only around you, but just like what you're doing um on social media. Like I found you on TikTok, and I remember the first time I heard your voice, I was crying, and I listened to it over and over. And that's very, very powerful. And the people who listen to you are tuned to that heart song of Earth. And whether or not they can hold it doesn't matter, because even if it's just for a moment, it makes a difference.
The whales are kind of coming behind me and they want me to sing for you. So I want to
Okay.
sing you a song, Amber.
Thank you.
And this is their song. They
Thank
want
you
to show
so
you the
much.
migratory patterns that they have.
Mm,
They can see their
hmm
pathways moving around the earth. And it's more than just the whales in your local area, it's all of the whales. It's not just the orcas or the gray whales. They all want to show you their pathways.
mm,
There's something really important about that.
hmm
Um, and it feels like it's connected to the geometries as well that they're creating through their migration patterns, the spirals that they create. It's connected to the sound and the frequency that they bring through their sonar, but also the geometries that they create within it because water holds memory. And they are the great memory keepers.
I can feel, I can feel them swimming in the Salish Sea. Um, and I think it's really important for me to say that the southern resident whales in the Salish Sea are they eat salmon. That is their diet. And if we could just pray for the salmon and for um, the Snake River that feeds the salmon into the Salish Sea and those waterways and opening them up and letting the salmon who are there our connection between the land and sea, and they are such a vital important part of our ecosystem. They feed the trees.
I was recently watching a documentary on Vancouver Island,
Mm.
And one thing that stood out that's coming through right now to share is that islands like that and land masses that have this lush ecosystem of vibrant animal life and plant life and trees and mycelium, all of it's fed by the marine life.
Hmm.
And it's like the bears and the animals will pick up the fish and the salmon and the kelps and all the different things, and you find pieces of those nutrients from the ocean in every living bit through the ecosystems. And it's
Yes,
just another reminder of why we need to take care of and cherish our oceans because they feed us
I do.
directly.
It's such a beautiful cycle.
We've had a queue of people who want to ask questions.
Okay.
So I think maybe we'll do a little bit of Q&A because there's somebody, um, a young woman who's very eager. She's been jumping up and down with her hand up. So I'm going to call her to the front and she wants
Okay.
to ask you a question about the whales. Um, she's speaking very fast. I think she's been on the show before. She's like, I recognize her. She's like, I really love the whales. It's just, I just hear the da 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 da.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to ask her to clarify her question, just one question, or at least one at a time. Oh, um, maybe you would understand this better than I do. She wants to know about world peace in relationship to the whales, the connection between bringing peace as a frequency to the planet. And I'm kind of translating it in a way because I don't quite understand the question. But there's like, she wants to know about peace and the whales. Maybe there's something that they want to share. Or maybe it's about peace, bringing peace to the heart.
Hmm. That's what I am hearing is it really is again about the heart song and tuning your own heart to the earth's heart song. And I'm seeing the Schumann resonance. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And really like getting on the ground, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like we say, go touch grass. Yeah, go touch grass. Put your feet on the ground, doing grounding, earthing work, and really just tuning your body to the frequency of earth and connecting your heart down to the center of the earth. And the more of us that do that, the more of us that really anchor into her, it is bringing peace. It doesn't look like it on the surface, but it is. And it is, we are, we are, we are reaching a threshold, and the threshold is coming towards us very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And the more of us who are already attuned to the earth's frequencies, her heart, and the oceans and the whales and all of the creatures, all of everyone, every creature, every tree, every flower, every insect. The more that we are tuned into that and we share that, the more people are going to be affected by it because there's no way for them not to be. Each of us is like an anchor point. And when we share our frequency out and it connects with other frequencies of these anchored beings, there's no space between to not be felt by it, to not have it, to not be felt by it. Like it is, we are becoming, it's overlapping. It's starting to overlap. And world peace is a conscious choice that we all have to make. And the more of us that do, once that momentum is going, it's unstoppable. At this point, it is already. It's we are approaching this, yeah, this threshold. I just see like a door literally like coming. It's like we're not even moving. It's coming to us kind of thing.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like your whole experience opening up into this communication with the whales. Like you can't not like allow it in. It just happened, you know? And I think that's what some of these like awakening experiences do. And you can't help but open more up into the heart and into love. And like for me, it feels scary sometimes. Like the more I open up my heart and I become vulnerable, you know, it's like, whoa, I can't
Yeah.
control it, you know?
Yeah.
It's really big.
It is really big and it can feel very, there's times where it's like it's so it's almost like I feel like I can't contain it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's so it's almost painful in a way, but
Yeah.
like in a good way, it's like this.
That's how I feel when I sing. Like I've been
Yeah,
singing my whole life. I've been singing on the land. I sing in public places. Like I never earlier in my life like I don't know. I was afraid of being heard and yet I wanted to be heard and I didn't feel like anyone could hear me. And so I felt uninhibited to sing in places because it was like it doesn't make a difference. Nobody can hear this. I felt invisible. And then at a certain point I knew that people could hear me and it was terrifying to start singing, but it's like when it comes through when the sound comes through, I can't hold it back and it
right.
changes things. And so
It
it's
does.
like even like sharing on social media or like creating podcasts, it's like it's just spilling out of me,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I
I
do.
just yeah, I mean sorry, my mind's kind of
No, I love
flying
it.
through
I
all
love
these
it so
different thoughts
much.
right now. But this woman is still sitting in front of us, and there's just been a couple different things happening, but I kind of want to follow up on her follow up question for you, and that was in connection to you mentioning that that connection to the Schumann resonance and that grounded space is really important. And she wants to know if you can actually use the whale song and the sonar frequencies to ground into the earth. Is that something that's supportive, or is there like even a certain, and this is more my question, is there a certain frequency band that we as humans can tune into to help us ground into the earth?
So, of course, yes. The thing that um they keep saying to me is that there's no separation. And so when you're connecting to the land, you are connecting to the sea, you're connecting to Gaia, you're connecting to the whole, even outside of her and the stars and the planets and everything. It's all connected. And the the what I'm seeing right now is the 639 hertz is
That's beautiful.
I
I actually
can
have
feel
it
it in
right
my
here.
heart.
So
Do
I,
you?
yeah, I do.
Of
The
course.
639 hertz, of course, it's
Of
just sitting
course.
in front of me. Um, This particularly is good for communication, and this frequency resonates with the high heart, so that makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense. And there's something important about the geometry of the six, the three, and the nine, and how they weave
Mm-hmm.
together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I couldn't actually tell you why the 639 in this space, but you can feel it.
Yes.
It's interesting. I can tell that an interval wants to be harmonized. The 639 with the 528, which is connected to the heart, kind of
Mm-hmm.
connecting that space between the high heart and the heart. And just notice, and this is for the audience, if something feels uncomfortable in this interval, just allow yourself to breathe into that high heart, upper chest space. Huh. And just take another deep breath in to the high heart space. And just allow yourself to exhale and release any of the discord within. I feel like we're moving from the ocean into like the tributaries and into the streams of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And as each person is kind of winding back into their own home space, connecting to their own lands, grounding in through your feet, rooted down. And I just want to thank the whales. Thank you so much, Amber.
Of course. Thank you for having me. That
Um,
was amazing.
we're definitely going to have to continue this
Yes,
conversation.
please.
I can kind of feel the field is kind of swirling and starting to dissolve in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of letting that happen naturally. It almost feels like a funnel or a spiral funneling as everyone returns to them, their connection to the waters, the restoration of the waters within as we all ground and connect to the earth,
Yes.
connecting to Gaia, and remembering the interconnectedness between
Yes.
all of us here. I think that was kind of my takeaway today from the whales is that
Yes.
everything is connected and it's really easy to forget that.
Yes. If if at any time you feel a separation, remember that that is the distortion and that unity is the truth.
Just as a last thought, the whales are actually gifting each and every one of you a special shell. And if you want to place that shell, each of you have your own unique shell, like a conch, that you can place inside of your heart that carries the spiral, the frequency inside of it. That you have that connection to that spiral of life, the frequency within, and that you carry it with you. As we close and dissolve this field.